Hi. I'm not sure if you can hear me or not. This is a bit windy down here. We are at Redcliffe Beach in the Redcliffe Peninsula in southeast Queensland. It's a bit overcast. People are still swimming. A bit of wind. I never know which headphones is actually the one that works, which one that doesn't. No idea. So someone will have to tell me if this microphone is working. So, oh my gosh. Honestly, I'm having a moment, and it's actually not a bad thing that I'm online by myself, to be honest. Actually, I'm not online by myself. I have Sandra. Hello, Sandra. Sandra's a new friend of mine. Sandra James Light. And we have Debbie Sue. Hey, Debbie Sue. Debbie Sue, can you please send me a hug? You're not yourself. Yep. Can you please send me a hug? I actually went to the beach. I didn't know this information first. Let me just start saying something. I went to the beach because we've been at where we're staying at the where our camper van is, just setting it up, just getting ready for the next couple of days when we go back from the house sit to the camper van. And it was a little bit stressful just because, it's an old camper van. The annex, we're trying to put the annex up and it's not connecting, and it's stressful, right? Diego's yelling at me. I'm like, I don't know what to do, and I'm trying to hold it and I'm trying to do it, and it's just, things aren't working, right? So I know it's not his fault, and I'm being precious, but been getting a little bit upset about it. But I was just like, okay, I'm going to go home via the beach. So I'll go for the beach, have my happy place, right? So, and that's not what's going on. But when I left home, little Grey, I always put a cage over the top of her, but I also put her in the container, like it's a bottom, like it's got a plastic container. And I put her under the trampoline so that she's not going to get too hot, and B, that animals can't hurt her, right? Anyway, I get to my friend Mel's house, and it's starting to thunder a bit, and I'm like, shit. And this is where we're at, guys. We've been trying to save the chicken for the last couple of days, and she's in a good place. So I'm feeling really shit now, guys, because she's okay. Well, I hope she's okay. But you got to know where this is going, guys. It rained a lot where little Grey is. Even though she's under the trampoline, under 2 layers of mesh, the rain went under, and it must have rained a lot, that the plastic container has no holes in it. So I've just got a message from Diego going, what the fuck? Why did you put her in the container? She's nearly drowned. And again, I know Diego's just stressed. He doesn't mean, I purposely tried to kill her or anything like that. I know that. But fuck. The poor chicken's already, sick enough. And now I've nearly drowned her. I mean, obviously, again, by accident, but still doesn't make me feel good, right? So, yeah, that's where I'm at, guys. That's where I'm at. Oh, shit. So literally, just before I was going live, I was trying to figure out my phone wasn't working. I'm just having a moment, guys. And these are stupid things in the scale of life, I know that. But when you add them together with the last couple of weeks, I want to cry. And I feel like shit. I mean, I already feel like shit over the chicken. And now I'm nearly drowned the chicken. And again, Diego sometimes exaggerates, so maybe it wasn't that bad. But I can imagine that there was water in the bottom of the cage. I didn't even think that there'd be no water, there'd be no holes in it. That I always just presumed there'd be holes in it because Oh, I don't know what I presumed, guys. I'm just beside myself, to be honest. Well, I don't know. I don't know, Sandra. Diego's with her now. Obviously, he's got her out of the cage and he'll be like, drying her down. So, put it this way, the chicken has been wet in the last couple of days because we washed her. We actually put her in a laundry tub and, washed her, but obviously, we don't put her head underwater. So Diego's saying that, she nearly drowned. But Diego does have a way of exaggerating a little bit. So yeah, I feel like shit, basically. So I'm really, really glad that I took myself for a walk. And I was about to go for a walk on the beach. I was going to do a live anyway. But guys, I always try to keep it real. I talk about mental health on my channel all the time. And, I always say that, you don't actually have to have a diagnosis of, bipolar or schizophrenia or depression. But, life in general sometimes throws curveballs at you and, you feel like shit. And these are one of the moments, right? So I'm just trying to keep it real. And, yeah, I'm not happy with myself. But again, I know it's not my fault. I know it's not my fault. But it doesn't make me feel any better, right? I've tried so hard for the last couple of days to, to make sure this chicken's okay. And, here I've nearly drowned the chicken. And, someone watching this, on a rerun is probably going to be laughing, going, what the hell, Dora? Like, I'm laughing at myself, but I'm not laughing at the situation, right? You'll be better when you see her and you feel relief. It's not your fault and you had no knowledge of the rain. Yeah, exactly. I know it's not my fault and I didn't know that. I would never intentionally do that. And I have to stop and look at the love heart, right, guys? So this is Lavender's rock and it's the heart, shape of a heart. And I always stand here and, literally say, it's beautiful to stop and smell the roses moment and have a moment. And I'm having a moment to myself, guys. You can hear it in my voice. Yeah, I am crying. I'm upset. I'm frustrated with the situation. And I know it's not my fault. I know that. And it's just circumstantial. But sometimes it's all right to just cry too, right? It's okay to cry. Yeah, I know. I know it's okay to cry. So, I'm sending you love, and I'm feeling the love back. I mean, what a beautiful place I get to live and walk. And obviously, thank God Diego's got home in time. Even if he's exaggerating or he wasn't exaggerating. And yeah, I'm going to walk back to the car now and drive home. I mean, these circumstances happen with chickens, I'm not a fucking, I'm not a chicken expert. I'm not an expert on life even, to be honest. Are any of us? But yeah, this just adds to the misery of this poor chicken, and I just feel like shit. I know it's not my fault, I know that, and I've got to stop harping on it because I can't, there's nothing you can do about it. There's nothing I can do about it. Yeah, none of us are, right? We're just basically winging it, literally winging it. interesting day here in Redcliffe. We've got a bit of sun. It's also been raining. You can see it was some dark clouds before. Obviously the dark clouds have come and gone. That's when obviously little grey got wet. I might go via home and get the hairdryer just because, well, I'd hate to think that, actually no, I don't need to. When we washed her the other day, so guys, as I said, I wasn't joking. We washed the chicken the other day. We actually put her in the laundry sink because she hasn't been moving much. When she poops, the poop sticks to her feathers and stuff. So we had her in the laundry sink. We washed her about 3 or 4 times, to be honest. So she was pretty dirty, and then she had some matted poop in her fur, like her fur. So we cut that out too, and they actually dry quite fast. So it is. So there's still a couple of hours of sunlight, like at least 4 hours and stuff like that. And it's not like it's cold, guys. It's actually quite warm. So hypothetically, if she obviously got wet, that's okay. And she's not going to freeze to death. We actually had a towel over her, towels, and we were like drying her off. So she'll be getting dry. I'm just going to hope that Diego was exaggerating and that she wasn't literally swimming. I know that this sounds like a bit of a misery. I don't walk in the water because that's actually good for me too, right? I always talk about, mental health and, what can you do to help with mental health. I've had a couple of people actually email me in the last couple of days actually and tell me things that they do to, help their mental health. Just to put it out there so that, they know that I'm listening, so to speak. And I always say going for a walk is one of the best things I can do for myself, especially a walk at the beach. So I'm really glad that I'm here right now because I got that message when I was driving home. Things happen for reasons, right? I was driving home and I realised I pulled out my tripod. Guys, how I've been jumping on the rebounder or the trampoline at the house seat. I haven't been able to put the phone up because it's been, I just can't put the phone up because the tripod, blah, blah, blah. Anyway, long story short, I've got a tripod, a full-on tripod that you can stand up with. And I pulled it out at the camper and I forgot it. I left it on the couch downstairs at my friend's house. So I actually thought, it's not like I'm rushing because I've been rushing from place to place for feels like months. So I felt, let's just circle back. And on my way back to pick up the tripod, I said to myself, let's go for a walk on the beach because, the beach is your happy place. And, I was feeling pretty good. I was happy that little Grey's looking, a little bit more chipper and she's happy. We're going to stay at the house till Tuesday. It is Sunday right now, so we've got 2 more nights there. I was actually making some potato salad at home, but Diego said, do you want to come over to the camper and help me with the annex while it's not so hot? Because in the afternoon the sun is quite hot in my friend's backyard. So, I feeling pretty good actually, guys. Until until I thought, well, until I got that text message from Diego. So it's very interesting that I'm here on the beach in my happy place, and sharing a moment. We're on journeys, right? We are all on journeys, and yeah, as I said, no one's getting out of this life alive, and no one actually has the actual formula, right? And I was watching something interesting the other day. So some of you guys know that last year I did 75 hard. 75 hard is a challenge. It's very hard, right? And part of that challenge is reading books. And the second book I read in that 75 days, I ended up reading, I think, 5.5 books. But one of the books, the second book I read, was The Power of Now by Eckhart Tolle. So Eckhart Tolle is a big guru that he knows his shit. I mean, I'm sure he doesn't have it all together, but you know, he seems to know his shit, right? He's wrote many books. He's got a very successful YouTube. Does many things, and many people have read the book The Power of Now, and I've shared a lot of stuff about The Power of Now in the last couple of months, and how basically, you know, you have to surrender to what's happening with yourself at the moment. You know, this is where we're at in life. You can't change it, right? So Sandra James, you're a new friend of mine. I've just met you in the last couple of days. Sandra, are you the lady that has the colonoscopy bag? Have I got the right person? Just let me know if I have the right person, and then I will tell the story. Or tell the rest of my little story that I was going to say. Okay, yes, I thought that. So Sandra, have you met Debbie Sue? Have you met Debbie Sue? Debbie Sue is from Virginia. Sandra, I'm sure, is from America. But I don't exactly know where. Do you know each other? And I don't know who else is like that. Toby. Hi. Toby's trying to be funny. I won't say that. Anyway. Sandra actually said something in one of her videos I was watching the other day. So she was saying, I hope she doesn't mind me sharing this, but I mean, she's quite open with it on her channel. She has had, I believe you've had some cancer, and she has a permanent colonoscopy bag now. Obviously, I don't know the ins and outs of how that all works, but she said something interesting in one of her videos, saying, or maybe it was a comment that she made with me, that she said, well, I just kind of said, like, I can't remember the scenario, but her attitude was really, really good about it. Like, she said, along the lines of, like, this is where I'm at, right? You know, I have this condition, and it's not nice. If people are unaware of what a colonoscopy bag is, I mean, I don't particularly know exactly what it is, but it's basically where you can't do a number 2 or a number 1, guys. You actually have to use a bag, and it comes out into a bag, and you have to change the bag. It's not pretty. And Sandra's channel, I mean, this is pretty open, but it's life, right? She shows you what she's dealing with, and you don't see anything yucky, right, guys? I'm just saying that she's keeping it real. Like, she's like, this is where I'm at. You know, life has given me this right now, and this is what I have to do. And she talks about it, and her attitude is really, I commend her for her attitude, because a lot of people, and I told her that one of my friend's daughters has just had a situation where she has to have an interim bag. Like, I don't know this whole scenario, obviously, but she has to have a bag for the next 8 months till her poo pipe recovers, if that can recover. I am not sure the complete details, but she is not in a good place. And I said to Sandra in the chat, I told her a little bit about it, and I said, you've got such a great attitude. Like, and from the power of now is like you accept where you're at, you surrender to the situation, and that has really been so healing for me to understand that, things happen. Situations happen. There's things we can't change, right? And there's things we can change, but like this situation I'm looking at right now that I might have accidentally nearly drowned our chicken. I have to surrender to it. It's done. I didn't mean to do it. And I hope that she'll be okay. That's all I can do, right? And it's okay to cry about it. It's okay not to be okay sometimes. Like, at the start of my life, I was beside myself. I'm going to be honest. I was beside myself. I've got some kids up here, so I better not show children, because obviously there's some weirdos on these channels that, get turned on by looking at children. This is the world we live in. So here's my head instead. Send her to me. I will talk to my friend and see if she's watching YouTube channels or anything like that, Sandra. Because if she is, I will send her your links to your channel. I don't know this lady firsthand. I am just friends with her mother. So I have a chat with her and see where it can go, because this is the situation, right? This is why I talk about health so much, because a lot of the conditions that we have, we create ourselves, right? Like, for example, I'll give you an example for me. I was drinking a lot of red wine. I love red wine. I used to use red wine as my stress helper. I'd come home from work and go, I can't wait to have a glass of red wine. And with all my friends, I'd have a glass of red wine. This is how we de-stress, right? But when you drink a lot of red wine, your heart rate goes up. And then you probably make bad decisions too, like as in like you snack really badly. So I put on an awful lot of weight. And I got high blood pressure because I put on weight and I was drinking so much red wine. So look at these birds, guys. Look at them there, they're waiting. Obviously these people are eating some fish and chips, so they're waiting to get some fish and chips. So interesting how birds just fly like that, and they can just kind of stay there with the sun, like with the wind. I was hoping to see a pelican this afternoon, but no pelicans. I'm going to go home. I've kept my shoes under here. Here you go. There you go. Crazy. Wouldn't it be funny if one had pooped on me right now? That is cool. That is so cool. That is really cool. Just note to people, you shouldn't feed animals, even for these kind of stuff. You shouldn't do it. They're feeding them. You shouldn't feed wild animals at all. Seagulls make weird noises too. The seagull just literally just. I'll just chuck in the bin, yeah? It's a really good fish and chip shop there. So yeah, a bit crazy. So as you see, these people are feeding them. That's why they're doing that. And I feel part of the problem by actually filming it, because I never do this, guys. I never intentionally feed a wild animal at all. You shouldn't do it. But here I am, filming it. It's pretty interesting. Okay, where's my car? Okay, up this way. So I'm at Redcliffe, a place called 30 minutes away from Brisbane in southeast Queensland in Australia. Southeast Queensland in Australia. So my thongs are now making lots of noises because I wet them. When you wet your shoes or your thongs, we call these things that we put on our feet thongs here in Australia. And since we didn't see a pelican, that's a pelican there. It's a fake pelican next to a seagull and another pelican. Oh. Right, oh, that's better. Oh my gosh. Take this out now. So that was interesting. I'm definitely going to take my sun shirt off because it is too hot to be wearing this. Alright, let me just balance my phone. Oh, shiz. There we go, balance my phone there. So anyway, guys, it was just a bit windy. And I'm just taking my sun jacket off because I didn't put any sunscreen on, so it's a way of not getting sunburnt. I'll try not to get sunburnt anyway. Alright, that's better. Whew, okay. So, as I was saying, we have to surrender to the situation that we're in. And, I'm fine. I'm fine. Thanks for asking. And I'm sure my little chicken is fine, but I'm going to go home and check on her. I'm sure, Sandra, you said here, thank you for going live and sharing your stressful moments with us. being able to be vulnerable is an extraordinary characteristic. It streams authenticity. Yeah, that word, authenticity. Um, thank you. It just worked out that way, didn't it? Because literally, yeah. It's 2:35 in the afternoon, on Sunday afternoon. I'm gonna go home and I check on her. I may or may not come back and tell you she's fine. I pray that she's fine, and I'm sure Debbie Sue it's going to be fine. As I said, she got wet. It's not because she got wet. It's okay for chickens to get wet. They run around in the rain all the time, and they sit on wet, wet grass all the time. And we literally put her in the bath the other day and washed her, right? So that should be fine. Yes. So anyway, I'm sure she'll be fine. And you know what? You got to surrender to it. It is what it is. It happened, and there's not much else I can do, right? Not great, but it happened, and you have to accept it and move on. The Power of Now by Eckhart Tolle. Anyway, if you've not read the book, The Power of Now, it's a really, really good book. You can actually, if you Google it on YouTube, like put it on YouTube, the search engine, you can actually, there's a guy that has read the whole book, word for word for word, on like audio for on YouTube. So you can actually do that and you can listen to it. Mike's got here. So are you about your chicken? I'm sure she's okay. Been here the whole time listening, editing. Oh, okay. Yes. Thanks, Mike. I'm sending you hugs. Thanks, guys. Thanks for being here. Nice to see you here, Sandra. As I said, I've only just met Sandra in the last couple of days, literally. And, very, very, obviously, I've only watched about 2 videos of hers, but really, really good attitude. So if you have an opportunity to check out Sandra James Living It, check her out. I'm sure Debbie Sue's probably already checked her out. But yeah, have a check her out because yeah, as I said, she's got a really good attitude, and sometimes in life, life throws us curveballs, and there's not much we can do about it. We have to go with it. Easy for us to say because obviously we're not going through that scenario. Sandra, as I said, has a colonoscopy bag, and that's not easy. That is not easy to handle. As I said, I hear it firsthand from my friend talking about her daughter and having to go through it. And apparently she has to go through it for only for like 8 months. Sandra, I don't know how long Sandra has been living like this, and how old Sandra is, and how as I said, it sounds like it's a permanent thing for Sandra. Yeah, so I think I'd commend her for showing us and keeping it real, and I guess showing what it's about because yeah, it's hard. And actually, that's what I was going at. Sometimes we don't help ourselves in life, right? The lady that has this colonoscopy, or this, they call it a stoma bag, but I don't know the difference, right? Oh, you've been doing it for 10 months you've had it. 64 in March. Wow. And is it permanent, Sandra? I think I heard somewhere in your videos that you said it was a permanent situation. Wow, it's only 10 months in. Wow. It's amazing. It's permanent. Okay, right. It's amazing how your attitude is about it. Mike's got sorry about your chicken. I know. And she's okay. Hopefully she's okay. Hopefully she's okay. Yeah. Where am I going with this? My friend, this might be interesting for Sandra for context. So the lady that I'm talking about, that my friend's daughter, she's just turned 50. She's my age. Hey Pam, how you going? It's inspiring what some of us struggle with and still carry on. Exactly, Pam, very much. So this is Pam, meet Sandra James Living It, who's in the chat. I ask you guys to check her out and support her channel too and see. I mean, she's got a great attitude. Look at her. I mean, we all need these kind of people in our lives, right? Like that's why I have Debbie Sue in my life and Mike in my life, Pam in my life, because we've all got great attitudes, and we're there for each other, and I appreciate that. I really do. Okay, going back to my friend. So she she's a professional. She works, right? As in your 50s, that's what you do. You work, and she smokes a lot and she drinks a lot, and she doesn't eat very well. And basically, there were no signs. Well, she says that she didn't see any signs, but she wasn't pooping very regular. Now, just as context, guys, Mike knows, and I think Debbie Sue knows, I talk about number ones and number twos a lot on my channel, because if you do number ones and number twos, you're actually quite healthy, right? And I think it's quite a human thing to do, number ones and twos. We all do it, right? I just seem to talk about it a lot. I always point out toilets, and I always dance in toilets. It's something I do, right? Mike gets it, right? And you guys get it, and I think you might not. Ah, so Diego's just sent me a message going, I found a hairdryer, warming her up. Okay, just give me a second, guys. Okay, so Diego has basically said that she's shivering, and she was shivering yesterday after we washed her. I put a dryer on. So apparently she's shivering, and her eyes were closed, and she was exhausted. And Ben said that, aka Diego, said that she's shivering. He's like, got a towel wrapped around her, and he's warming her up with a blow dryer. He's got her out in the sun, and her eyes were like, sleeping, so she's just exhausted. So yeah, making me feel even worse. But reality is I have to hear that. I'm about to go home and deal with it. It's not going to be pretty. But anyway, guys, I'm going to go. I was going to tell you the story about my friend with that had the little school bag, but it's another time for another place. Guys, see you guys. Thank you for being here. I'm sure it'll be fine. Okay, bye. Bye.